welcome back to our 6th episode now of the Weather Podcast, also known as Gusts Gullywashers. So episode 5 is now live as of this morning. It's up on our YouTube page, so I think we have 3 subscribers so far, I checked. So
yeah, we're making the big bucks. We are.
Making the big bucks. It's a charity, actually. It's you donate to it. Or maybe we could run at the Independent Party for president. You could donate to our campaign. There would be nothing.
We'd probably get 12% of the vote, though.
Yeah. The whole budget would just be a nationwide mesonet. That's all it'd be. We wouldn't pay for anything else. You don't need anything else. The government pays for too much.
Healthcare? Nah. We don't need that. Mesonet? Yes.
Yes. We'll just grow herbs at the mesonet sites, and that'll be healthcare. There's a couple.
Is healthcare.
Well, there's a couple sites I have that have, what was it? Mint, and I think it was spearmint, and what was the other one? Was it? I think it was scallions, actually. Yeah, it was.
Making these scallions.
But I'm thinking, it's a great spot because the soil's usually rich. They get just wild stuff growing there.
Yeah. Forget modern medicine. We can just use mint.
We could just use mint, yeah. I'm also thinking, too, for a cash grab, we could just start growing weed there at the sites.
And we can sell it as throw it inside the fence so no one can access it.
Exactly. We have a camera on it so you can watch it. You can measure the soil temperature from it and run some algorithms to go when to feed it or when to do whatever on it. Take care of it, I guess. Yeah. And then you could sell it as organically grown. Idea. Organically grown.
Absolutely.
And using the weather station to help it grow, the solar radiation, you got the soil, all that stuff.
Definitely.
We could sell it as mesowana.
Oh my gosh.
I think we're onto something now. Oh, that would be a cool
Everything
logo.
Morally inside of me is screaming no, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah. That's a good. We should start this.
For the memes.
Yeah. You could probably grow other things like a whole vegetable garden. You could put it a raised bed. Honestly, I could even advocate for that. Like take up some of the space and on the site and use it as a vegetable garden, or you could use it as a test bed maybe for stuff. I don't know.
You'd be introducing evapotranspiration errors though. With your
unless you put it
moisture measurements
off towards like the soil probes or just away from everything.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Which I don't think, if you had a small cluster, I don't think it would really be too much. But
yeah, I was just thinking the whole thing was filled with with plants.
Oh no. What you could even do is set up a science experiment and see what the temperature is and maybe the humidity over the plants, like maybe directly over half a meter over it. And sample that and see how that affects, or that what plants give off, I guess, in terms of heat.
Yeah.
It's just like corn, we could do that in corn, see higher humidity.
What I don't understand is why these sites don't just plant like a natural prairie garden or whatever, so you don't have to maintain it.
And you probably wouldn't. Especially a lot of these have really good soil. You get good runoff and irrigation, like natural irrigation there for the most part.
Right.
I guess depending on the location.
With respect to the snow measurement, you'd need the flat plate there. But with respect to that, you could just let it go. You don't need to do anything. Cause they just grow to a certain height and it's fine.
Yeah, everything would be self-sustaining there. And, there'd probably be some maintenance, just at least the grass cutting around the site, and, it'd probably be a raised bed type of thing. But obviously use the soil right there, and because the soil's pretty rich out in New York. And
right.
I think it's sandier here in Albany. That's why we actually talked about that at our retreat this past week on testing soil probes, and that if we were looking at maybe a different type of soil probe down the road, but that's at least 3 years from
the one that doesn't exist.
No, I guess they talked to people at AMS. It's called like Meter. I don't know. They make soil probes, and they got 3 horizontal probes that go down. Unlike the Stevens, which is just vertical, and then I think Campbell is vertical or no, they might be at a 90-degree angle too.
Yeah, because you dig a hole and then you just stick them in.
Yeah.
To the side.
But I guess these ones, the Meter ones, were a little bit cheaper, and I guess better built maybe, or I forget what it was. But we're looking at that, but I guess we can't really test them in our own yard in Albany because it's too sandy and it's not really representative of the silty and loamy soils out in Western New York and basically everywhere else. So we'd have to test them out somewhere, and I was like, hey, I'll throw them up in my data logger in Rochester, and there's Western New York for you. And it probably, honestly, I probably could convince them, I'd probably get a separate data logger and just run them, side by side.
I mean, you
need to do it for like a year, though, like a year-long test, go through all the seasons and see how it performs with the freezing and the constant, thawing or tons, there'd be times where it's sitting in water for days.
Of course, you test it the 1 year, it never gets below 30.
Like this year, yeah. But this is just an anomalous year.
Right.
Or winter, I guess, but we'll see how the summer is. But yeah, going back to the mesowana.
Yes.
It would be a nonprofit because it's probably the best type of drug dealer to have is the government, It's like the dispensary, so it's like at least they're gonna, quality test it. It's, it'd probably be legitimate.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be just like some, you're
mixing
buying some
glass
guy off the
in
street
with it or something.
Yeah, or some of these head shops or even the Indian reservations are just really sketchy. So I think we're onto something. I don't think it's really legal, but yeah.
No, and I don't endorse it, but it's a funny idea.
I mean, hey, you could make a lot of money off of that.
How do you present that to the IRS?
Well, it'd just be cash only, so it'd be all under the table, and we wouldn't put it in the accounts. Obviously, you'd spend it.
True.
Just pay cash for new instruments. Just send them like a big chunk of money.
that's. So you wanna pay $10,000 for this freezing rain detector in cash? Okay, all right. I guess we can do that.
But cash is king, right? You can.
Yeah.
You don't have credit fees. Usually, there's fees associated with putting in a credit card. It's like.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Add it to the reasons I'm not getting a credit card.
Yeah, and a lot of businesses now charge you. My mechanic charges it. Both my mechanics actually for my work truck and my Subaru both charge for credit card fees.
Well,
a lot of shops charge for it because they just don't want to absorb a 3% fee and everything. They're losing money, and it's like,
right.
I mean, they would prefer cash, but everybody now pays just credit. Like, just charge it on the credit card.
Because nobody has cash.
Well, yeah. But it's all a scam. It's like, oh, you get 2%, so it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll get 2%. I'll just charge everything on it. But then it's like it builds up, and then you just don't pay it because you spend your actual debit card and other stuff, and then you actually don't have money to pay for the charge that you put on the credit. So, it's like you dig a hole like twice as deep because of a credit card. At least in a lot of places, but if you're good about it and just use it for specific things like gas or groceries and that's it, and just then you're fine.
Right.
Like, I've been pretty good. My credit was high because I had to put car repairs and I bought tires like on the credit card. Like, obviously, I mean, I could have paid. That would have drained my whole accounts, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. And it's like you kind of need tires and you kind of need car repairs. So it's like,
you don't need tires.
What?
You don't need tires.
I got snow tires.
Your wheels have rims.
What? This isn't the hood, man. This isn't GTA. I mean, people do that. There's videos. I mean, people drive with they blow a tire and they just drive like there's. It's I don't know how you don't know. You hear that grinding metal on the road. It's like what?
They do know. They just are
Dumb.
good about it.
Yeah,
They just know how to drive.
I guess so. But well, I mean, it's like the worst time I bought snow tires and I've used them like twice and it's been just bare road. So it's like
Yeah.
yeah. But in the same sense that, having two sets of tires is actually better in the long run because you're only using one set half the time, essentially. So my snow tires are probably going to last, because most tires you'd go through and, if you're doing, at least me, like 15,000 miles a year.
Mm-hmm.
And tires, you could probably get anywhere between 30 and 60. So you're looking, you know, every 2 to 4 years maybe on a good side.
Right. Right.
So, and you probably could get all seasons if you just rode with all seasons like I did in my old car. Those were what, maybe $800,000 every, let's say 2 years, 3 years, versus spending the same money but using it half the time. So you get double the life
Right.
out of it essentially.
It's like half the duty cycle, so you're
Right.
you're doubling. I guess that's what you just said. You're doubling that.
Yeah, like this winter I haven't been driving that much. I've only put I don't know, maybe a couple thousand miles on the snow tires, and I'll
Right.
probably take them off in
Right.
April or May. But my all seasons, I think those are the ones that came with a car. I'll probably just ride those out for the summer until they wear out, and then buy like a nice set of summer tires that have
Right.
that are grippier, better for the summer
Yeah.
roads and stuff. Especially in that car, it's gonna be really nice. Just because
Yeah.
it'll handle even better. I've noticed a difference too I actually could feel the power difference in my acceleration from having the snow tires versus the all seasons, which were lighter.
Really?
Oh yeah, I felt it like right away, and I was like, wow, this thing's like a lot slower, because it's like you look at the tire, it's beefy as fuck. I mean, they're brand new tires, but
Oh, you've got all the friction and stuff.
yeah, they're really beefy. They're thick. It's a different
Knobby.
type of or a component of rubber. It's not, it's got different composite materials, or it's a different, blend, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it better for the roads. Handles the temperature.
Huh.
And it's really in the snowman, like with all-wheel drive, that thing is a tank. Like you could go through. In my Nissan, man, I would have gotten stuck in that stuff. I've gotten stuck so many times, and even just going to our friend's cabin in the Adirondacks was like just packed down snow. Maybe that was just it, packed down snow. It wasn't a fresh snow. And on a front-wheel drive car with all-season tires, I was like couldn't get up this small hill, which is like the slightest of hills, wasn't even that bad. And I was like, I
Right.
couldn't get it, and I
Right.
tried and tried, and I actually just backed way up and just gunned it. But then the problem is it's like a 90-degree curve going upwards, and you're like, you lose all your power right there, because
You're already
you're gonna
going
spin out if you're
going
too
too
fast.
fast to turn.
And I was like, this is atrocious. And there's people like walking there, and they're like gonna push me, and I'm like, this is so embarrassing. But that's the reality of front wheel drive, and then having all season span. They suck. It's like you're actually comparing it to what I bought with the snow tires and all wheel drive. Like
Yeah.
that was dangerous, having front wheel drive. Like it could have been deadly. Because like you could be driving and even just shifting lanes on the highway, you can feel the car like start to spin out.
Oh, it's horrible.
And you had to let off the acceleration. You have to slow down.
Like even yesterday, of course the snow forecast completely over verified.
Oh
Driving home with even just the 2 inches of slush on the highway, good luck changing lanes.
oh yeah, and it's just you need like a quarter of an inch of slush, and it's like you can't move.
Because your car ends up start like jerking and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Now though, it's like I can just go through that shit. I mean, you got to slow down a little bit, but like you can still just plow right through it, and I'm like, damn, this is
Yeah.
fun.
And then the worst part is the people driving in the opposing lane or even next to you going faster, and they kick up all the
Yeah.
junk from the road, and it just slams into your windshield.
Yeah,
Like,
but
oh my gosh.
most people out here in New York, for some reason, man, we're used to the winters. We have snow, we have ice, we have all this shit, and people still don't know how to fucking drive. And they're sitting like, people don't change their tires out. People don't drive correctly. They still go like
Right.
just as fast. They're like,
Yeah.
it's like, man, like, have you not learned? Like, I feel like one winter, you would find
Yeah.
out the hard way that you can't do all that shit. And people drive almost too slow, but
Well, only the people that get in the 200 car pileup learn.
yeah. But if people actually spent the money for good tires, or at least winter tires, and changed them out, like, there'd probably be way less accidents. People would actually not be, like, fucking,
Right.
stupid. So,
Common sense is hard to come by.
yeah, yeah. It's like people don't learn from stuff. It's like, okay. And you deal with it every year. You have these conditions that keep happening. It's like, do you not know?
Yep. It's wild.
It is. What else is going on? Yeah, what did I did a lot of shit for work this week, soldering those SR50s. I don't know if you've heard of, we also were learning how to put together, they're called conaxle connectors. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard of those.
Yep. So
Yeah.
they're like specialty, kind of rugged,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
they're those
yeah.
black connectors that, fit
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, those are awesome.
They are
Those are
awesome, man.
so easy
Yep.
for putting things together.
Yep.
You just plug your stuff in.
Yep.
and it
Especially if
goes.
it's wired and stuff. Well,
Yeah.
at least for us, because
Yeah.
we have the enclosure, so on the CR6 sites and
Yeah, that's super convenient.
on the, yeah, because what we're doing now on the CR6 sites is they're having these conaxle connectors. So we basically get like cables, like the ones that the manufacturer sends, like Armyong or
Uh-huh.
Campbell, and we just adapt them to those connectors. I mean, it takes a lot of time to solder the wires on. There's a lot
Yeah.
of prep work you have to
But
do.
I would assume once you do it, like it's so simple after.
Right, it is. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent to it. It's nice. I think it makes it cleaner, but I think in the same sense it adds another layer of. I mean, it's not like I don't trust them, but I think it just adds another layer of failure. Whereas you wire it directly from the outside in,
So you have
you
to
could minimize that.
think about this too, is if you're gonna be attaching, reattaching, uh, taking out, reattaching those wires, they're gonna end up fraying, and you're gonna have fatigue
Wait, what wires?
wi- if you're directly putting them into the data logger versus just having a plug.
Well, why would you take out the wires? You usually just take out the sensor, and you usually take out the wire because the wire's bad. So it's like you'd have to replace it anyways. Because like
True. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of uh, however that saying goes, like half a dozen of another, whatever.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like you
Or
can
it's
go either
like
way, and it's
it's
still going to be just as good.
yeah, yeah.
I guess it's just preference and even like just cleanliness. You want it.
Things are still gonna fail. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
replace the cable anyway. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The cable fails a lot of the time. It gets chewed up. Obviously you get an HMP that fails. You should replace that, but the cables usually don't replace too often, unless they get chewed up.
The HMPs have the plug on them though, so that's pretty simple.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm just saying we just swap out the probe itself. We don't really replace the cable
Right.
much, unless
Right.
the cable
Right.
gets chewed up, which does happen. But usually the ones that get chewed up are the really thin belting cable we use for the 2 and 9 meter fans and
Yeah.
the
Right.
probes. So, and that stuff's cheap and it's easy to fix and lay new stuff because it's a dime a dozen. But obviously it's harder to chew through like the thicker cable. Like I
Right.
don't think we rarely have to replace like
Yeah,
a
it's
sonic
it's
cable,
pretty hard. I've tried.
a sonic cable or a wind monitor cable or even SR50 stuff like those rarely get chewed up because they're just so thick and well built, and they'll almost never fail. So occasionally you get stuff like some of the buried conduit stuff's more likely to fail because we run the belting cable to the pluvio, those get chewed up.
Mm-hmm.
Those all fail sometimes too.
Right.
Soils sometimes too, but it's buried and
Right.
it's as long as everything's sealed and shored up, then you should be good for a while. And we got silicone caulk that we just caulk everything with. Even the
Mhm.
interior of the soil box, which is just the gray enclosure, which has a DIN rail where all the probes come up to, and then that gets sent out in a 3-conductor cable underground to the data logger because it's running all SDI,
Right.
so you can just do it as one cable.
Oh, that's convenient.
It is, yeah. That's what's nice about those. And they're just on different channels, so.
Interesting.
Uh,
So it's similar to like RS-485.
yeah. And what's cool though is they can be at the op center in Albany. I'll wire in a new probe and I say, "Hey, can you guys assign this?" And they can like, quote unquote,
Oh,
talk.
yeah,
They
that's
can
right.
talk to it
Yeah.
through its SDI channel and tell it commands
Mm-hmm.
and tell it to. They assign it on
Yeah.
its own channel and stuff, so they can get the data from it. But going back to that, yeah, the 2 openings that come in, the conduit openings, those used to be just left exposed, or you use that putty stuff that you used for your enclosure to kind of shore up the cable ends, and
Yeah.
we used that, but still, like, it was half and half, and stuff would fail or whatever. But you get a lot of like,
Right. Right.
yeah, you could even mice like build these giant freaking homes in there, these nests, and they'd come up through there. And so
Oh.
we've sealed up all of them.
Inside the
Oh
enclosure?
yeah, we have pictures of it, like these massive
No way.
mice and whatever
Wow.
else nests living in there.
Yeah.
So they would chew up the cables and stuff, and I'm just like, let's just caulk it up, And we've sealed up all
Yeah,
of them.
true.
We've put desiccant in there because we've been having moisture problems in there. I think those boxes are kind of leaky. I'm not really. I
Mhm.
think they're just the gaskets aren't too good on them. So yeah, and because you get corrosion too, the moisture, you get a lot of green
Right.
corrosion and
Right.
a lot of data issues. We're probably gonna have to replace out those blocks too because the terminal blocks are just all corroded out
Man,
from moisture. So
sucks. Yeah.
we put desiccant in all of them and sealed up those holes. So hopefully that'll keep them lasting for a while. But it's just another failure point there. That's just easily fixable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
so
I've got some new development here.
what's up?
So so one of my friends, other friends, um, he's wanted a weather station for a while,
Yep.
and we're finally kind of getting the ball rolling here.
Mm-hmm.
And his data logger,
What is
his
he running?
radiation shield just got here. It's a very budget, but still like semi-modern. So it's running a Sierra 200X.
Okay.
So it's still got the Sierra Basic. And then let me pull up the thing here. So it's running a Sierra 200X. It's going to be inside a ENC 10x12 enclosure. So it's the one step smaller than the ones I have.
Yeah.
And it's got it'll have an Apogee ST110 thermistor, the fast response temperature, and then an HMP 35C for dew point. Then it's got a Cetra barometric pressure sensor, rain gauge, because it's cheap, good quality, and wind monitor, of course.
Where's this kid based, and how do you know him?
He's in Florida. We met a long time ago
Okay.
online, as with most of my friends. And he's actually like become a pretty affluent YouTuber
Okay.
as like the weather side, like that kind of sector.
What's
on
his
YouTube.
What's his YouTube? I'll look him up.
Let's see. It's NWW116.
1116 or 116? Oh, here we go.
NWW116.
Excuse me. Wow, 22,000 subscribers. He's got
Yeah,
a TikTok.
yeah, he's putting the work in.
Let's see his Twitter. All right, Andrew Heichman.
Yes, sir.
Look at that, slowly coming together. The wind monitor. There's the HM.
Oh yeah.
Wow, he's got the setup, and that's a 200X.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't think I've seen those in use before.
They were quickly obsolete with CR 300s
Okay.
because they only do single-ended channels.
Oh, there's no pulse channels. Gotta have the pulse.
There's no diff voltage
Oh
channels.
wow.
So, but it's amazing because I found a low power serial to Wi-Fi converter.
Yep.
Not USR, because that that was drawing too much power for the 7 amp hour battery that it would have.
Wow.
So I found a US converters serial Wi-Fi adapter, and that will. So basically, what I'm gonna do is similar to what I was doing with my CR23X and the Arduino,
Yep.
where it output the serial data.
Mm-hmm.
What that'll do is it will just encapsulate the data into packets on his LAN,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Arduino will just be like plugged into the back of his computer just for power,
Okay.
and it will read those packets on his LAN and upload it with the HTTP query. So, and that will allow him to connect to it wirelessly with PC400 too. So,
So this is going to be an online station, right?
yeah, it'll be on my site
Oh, okay.
live.
So he's got to be running LoggerNet, or how's he running it? The Arduino?
It's outputting the serial data through the serial to Wi-Fi converter onto his LAN,
Oh, okay.
and then the Arduino's reading those packets and extracting them and uploading them.
So the serial to Wi-Fi, is that a Campbell product?
No, it's made by US converters,
Okay.
and it's just got an RS-232 plug on it that'll plug into it, because it doesn't have doesn't have Ethernet or the CSIO. It's just got the RS-232 port.
Okay. So what year is that data logger from?
I don't know. I can look here. The copyright, just a general idea of when it was from. And it stinks because the control ports they only do SDI, they don't do serial output. But let's see here. Oh, that's not very helpful. There's no come on. 2009, I believe.
2009. Okay. So that's a pretty new data logger then. So it runs off of Sierra Basic?
Yeah, so it's a Sierra Basic. So he's already in the right direction with that.
Okay.
So while the caveat of the control ports not doing serial output, the RS-232 port can.
Okay.
So that allows us to output that serial string.
Gotcha.
And it's awesome because you can just modify that string however you want, so you can optimize the data being transmitted, so you don't have a bunch of extra junk in it. You can really condense it and then have the Arduino parse it appropriately.
Okay.
And such. So yeah.
Nice.
Oh yes.
So he's been buying stuff through you, or is it on eBay that he's just taking?
So kind of a mix. I've got like, because I've got one of those HMPs that I've refurbished, and I'm gonna calibrate. He's gonna get one of those for me, and then like he's just gonna I'm gonna foot the bill, and he's just gonna pay me back for some of the things that I need to order from like Armyong and Campbell, just because it's easier.
Okay.
So he doesn't have to set up an account or anything. So, yeah, and I just made a spreadsheet with all the items, and he's just been slowly but surely just buying things to make it. So,
Okay. Hmm. That's pretty cool though. And what part of Florida is he in?
he is. I think he's near. I don't actually know. Hold on.
Okay.
Near Orlando,
Near Orlando.
I
Okay.
think. Yeah. So.
That'll be a good hurricane site. Hopefully, he gets blasted by some good winds or something.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So, is there going to be a rain gauge?
Yeah, that's what the rain wise is.
Okay.
It's an 8 inch. So
Nice. Nice, nice.
yeah, I had one and I didn't have any issues with it, and it's only like $80. So
Hmm.
it's really good price for performance. So and Pete Bros, the wired weather station manufacturer makes a nice uh, aluminum mount for it
Hmm.
too, or stainless steel mount that can go directly on the mast.
Gotcha.
So convenient. It's only like $40 too. So
Wow, it's not bad.
no, not at all. Yeah, it's a very robust but frugal station.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool then. And when's that going to come online, you think?
We're shooting for first half of March.
Okay. First half of March. So that's right around the corner then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got just about half of everything.
Okay.
It's really up to just shipping time, because that pressure sensor is coming from Israel, I think. So it's gonna be a minute, but yeah. And then he's gonna send me everything, and I'm kind of just gonna put it together in a nice little package with a bow, wire management, wire it up, program it. So all he has to do is just put it on the tripod he has and turn it on, and it'll just go. Really.
Is there good? Is it going to be a good sighting location there?
Generally, I think he's got a pretty decent sized yard.
Okay.
So he's got a tripod with he'll get 10 foot or 3 meter wind measurements. And
Okay.
2 meter temp dew point. So
Nice.
it'll be sighted pretty good.
Nice.
Of course, we'll have the pressure port. So
Are you gonna?
we're doing everything correctly.
Speaking of pressure ports, are you bringing those on the flight to Rochester?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're really awkward, so I don't know how well that's gonna fit.
Well, you can just
my
carry a
suitcase.
backpack. I think who are you flying with? Delta American?
I believe it's American.
Okay. Yeah, they allow you to have. I brought on my camera backpack and my suitcase,
Oh, so I can. Oh.
and there's no extra charge. It's one personal item and one carry-on.
Oh.
And then if your
Okay.
carry-on doesn't fit, they'll check it for you at no charge, which is pretty sick.
Dope. So I can bring my suitcase
And
and
a bag.
a backpack.
Yeah, so the carry-on would go in the overhead bins, and then the personal item backpack, would
right.
go underneath the seat in front of you.
Okay. I'll just shove that full of full of goodies then.
There you go. Just get through. Security might pat you down and
Oh,
take you off
goodness.
into the room and give you a good groping. So They love to do that. They'd be like,
Oh
checking
man.
out and be like, "What is this?" Or be like, "That's my dick." Like that happens
Yep.
sometimes.
Yep. Exactly.
Nice.
Oh man.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think I told you uh my coworker that works up at Whiteface, the observatory up there. It's run through this atmospheric science research center through UAlbany, which is like
Yeah.
our,
Yeah.
I guess our parent, or it's kind of like the other side of us. I guess we're
Mhm.
underneath them technically in the structure, but they do
Right.
a bunch of cloud research up there, and they're testing the new version of the Alpine wind monitor through RM Young, I guess, and
Mhm.
it was performing well so far, but I guess with the brutal ice and rime conditions, especially with the 60-mile-an-hour plus
Right.
gusts you get pretty weakly up there, that it just covered it in ice and stuff. And I think he said like all the propellers were covered up. I wonder if he's got photos. I'd love to see that.
Probably just looks like a chunk of ice.
Yeah. They also have the heated NRG mechanical sensors up there. Those also ice up
Yeah.
as well, and those are heated. So I mean, there's really no.
I don't think you're ever gonna have a high enough wattage to compensate for
Yeah, those got to be a
that.
couple hundred watts.
Yeah.
At least 100 watts, I gotta say. But um, the only ones that I've heard that do work really well are, I think it was FT Technologies. I think they're a British company, but they make these really beefy ultrasonics that are heated as
Mm.
well. I guess those have performed really well. As I think
Mm.
you saw, the picture I sent you
Yeah.
from there, and it said like all of their wind sensors froze up except that one, and that was the only one that was still reporting. Um,
Interesting.
so I guess that's promising. If they're like military spec, you know,
Yeah.
super rugged.
They have to be.
Um, but I guess it's good though for those mountaintop and alpine conditions, because I think the only one other that works is the Mount Washington pitot tube, but that's like that's got to be like 400 watts. I mean, that thing is like beefy, and that thing
That's
never,
built.
yeah, that thing was built. That thing has not failed. Um,
Uh.
I think they even have to take down their Alpine wind monitor in the wintertime, which is contradicting, because
Wow.
it'll just destroy itself, or the conditions will. I mean,
Yeah.
they're getting like 100-mile-an-hour gusts with like freezing fog and all this crazy stuff. It's just insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's nothing that can withstand all that. So I wonder.
Those poor wind
I
sensors.
know. Unless I really wish it would be cool if RM Young made a heated wind monitor. That's my it's gonna be my business venture with them. A heated wind monitor.
Yeah.
How would that work? At least the body would have to
It
be.
wouldn't,
It wouldn't.
cause it's plastic.
Well, you'd have to obviously change it, like the specs a bit.
You just you just revive Buford Instrument Company
Mm-hmm.
and use one of their metal propeller anemometers, because I believe they were heated.
Okay.
Or they
Yeah.
could be heated.
Yeah. Those.
They had a heated option.
Yeah. You'd have to heat the propeller separately. It'd have to be some kind of. Yeah. You'd
Yeah,
have to
good
build it
luck.
up. Yeah. Yeah, because you have a shaft in there that has to rotate to, and have the magnet and stuff. So that's like
Right.
delicate stuff, I guess. Especially the electronics.
Well, that one at least, it had collector rings because there was an actual generator.
Okay. Hmm.
But again, it's rotating. So how do you do
Mm-hmm.
that?
It's a tough design. Yeah, I mean you can heat independent wind direction and wind speed, but in a combined form like that, the wind monitors or those propellers design.
It's impractical at best.
Yeah. Um, just because of the moving parts, and I think just the
Yeah.
condensed version of it, it's kind of like the best all-in-one sensor. Just I guess despite a Sonic 2, but I guess yeah, mechanically speaking.
just get a lift.
Right. We do have the version of Ventus. I don't know why they couldn't use that at Whiteface, and that's sitting out on a light pole out on the shore of Lake Erie. So, and they're getting like pretty good gusts. I think that's actually been.
Mm-hmm.
I think the highest gust was last year was like 79 miles an hour.
Holy cow!
So it gets really good winds out there.
Wow.
So that's heated because you get all that moisture from the lake, and especially like these cold
Right.
lake effect events. And that's been performing pretty well. I don't think we've had a erroneous wind gust there. Everything's been consistent where you get those crazy spikes in the standard sites, but those are only heated. The regular, the V200A. Those are the plastic version. Those are also they're heated, but we don't turn them on. I guess we've had them turned off completely across the network to save battery, and only turn them on when either it stops reporting data or I think that's it. Yeah, because I think they used to turn on it with certain conditions, but just for battery consumption, like we had to turn that off, I guess, to keep the sites from dying, and just turn them on on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
And that has happened a few times at a few sites. I think usually the higher elevation sites. There's one in my area at like 2,400 feet, and that has obviously some freezing and mixed precip, frozen precip conditions. So, and that kind of messes up the transducers too. Plus, you get those crazy gusts. But I think we're gonna try a new firmware upgrade this spring to try to alleviate that. I guess they haven't been upgraded since their install in 2016 or whatever, so they've been running like really old firmware. So,
yeah, that might help.
I'm gonna look up the firmware if they gotta report that on our site. I bet. Let's see, pyranometers, compact weather sensors, wind monitoring. It's the V200A UMB. Is this SDI? I forget. No, this is. Let's see. 24 volts. Let's see. Where is it? It's gotta have a. Doesn't say what the wattage is on the heaters. See, wind speed plus or minus 0.3 meters per second, or plus or minus 3% from 0 to 35 meters per second accuracy, and then plus or minus 5% greater than 35. Air pressure sensor plus or minus 1.5 hectopascals. That's probably not that good, right?
Run it by me one more time.
What?
Plus or minus what?
1.5 HPA.
It's not great, but acceptable for general things.
Interesting. But I guess it just needs a pressure sensor probably for, at least it's of acoustic, it's going to need pressure for that, to calculate that. So, I guess that could...
I don't think they do.
Well, I'm sure the speed of sound changes with temperature, because they need a temperature. I know that you need temperature for that. I know the SR50s need temperature correction.
Oh yeah, because it's an open-ended system.
But I'm sure
they can't derive the
would pressure affect that as well?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of, at least. It's mostly temperature, because it's propagating through the air.
Yeah.
So regardless of pressure, it's
Oh, it does
it's negligible
Yeah.
compared to
Um,
that.
all right, let's see the firmware. Oh, that's just the firmware. Is there no papers on it? Application notes, manuals. Um, Doesn't say. Usually they have firmware notes, like just notes about it.
Yeah.
V200.
Oh, here we go. I found it.
Found what?
I was trying to figure out where the power supply document from Camel Scientific was.
Does not say. Okay. I don't know. Doesn't say. Of course it doesn't.
It's probably proprietary or something.
Why would it though? It's a. I don't know. It's odd being odd. Yep. I have to go to the bathroom. I drank too much coffee this morning.
That is very good to know.
Yep. Too much, yeah. It just goes right through you.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I'm going to just call it here. Unless we want to put it on hold and I can put some hold music in.
No, I think this is plenty.
All right. Well, this is, we got to get, I think next weekend we should get a guest on. So, I don't know if I should ask Sean maybe.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep. I'll reach out to him. Maybe we can use this. We should try out this Google Voice thing. Maybe that's our answer to getting good audio.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's try that out. So. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this 6th episode. Look for it this coming Thursday at 9 a.m. Whatever date that is, February 22nd. So. Yeah, take a look for it on YouTube. We'll put it on our Twitter. Hopefully more people follow. You still haven't followed us, Quinton, on our Twitter.
Do I have to?
Kind of. Kind of.
Fine, I'll do it right now.
You better do it.
Relax.
All right, well, join us next week. Should have a guest on, so it'll be a good one.
No, why'd you change it?
What?
You should have kept it as the
Accurate?
the Accurate.
Really? You want me to change it back? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Or do you want me to use my Accurate in my backyard or the Florida one?
Yeah.
The Florida one's kind of nice though. You got the palm trees.
No, just make it look as jank as possible.
True. I should have done the other one with the when I had the guy wires up for it.
Oh my, yes, the one-dimensional support.
Do I have pictures of my old ambient setup? I forget. That was even janker than the Accurate. The Accurate's probably the most stable one I've had so far. Swear to God, I gotta have pictures of it. That actually might work, but that's not a good picture of it. I had the.
It needs to be as unassuming as possible.
I had the temperature probe over the garage.
Oh man.
Yeah. I have a picture. It's like not a great picture. Oh, that does look pretty jank. Oh, there's a giant spider web in this picture. It's just hard to see. Maybe I can edit it and make it look good. Yeah.
Oh, no need. Just slap it up there.
Oh, I have a live photo of it. You can see it rotating. Nice. All right, maybe I'll. Oh wow. Here we go. I'm gonna try that. That'll be so jank. Oh, dude, that looks so terrible. What was the other one that I had? Oh yeah, that one. That actually might work, but that's kind of dark. That's like my backyard all lit up and stuff. We had like the tiki torches going and
Yeah.
I literally had a light on my weather station. Like I had its own spotlight.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think it's still pointed at the Accurate, so whenever it's on, I can see it. It's like
Nice.
it's how I go home. I'm drunk from the bars. I just look for the lit up weather station.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yep. It's like it's like a monument. A light. It's like a lighthouse. It's supposed to guide you.
Yeah.
Well, lighthouses are supposed to guide you away from the rocks and the shore. So maybe it's a sign that I should stay away from Accurate. I don't know. Don't come near me. All right. That's it for now. Join us next week. Yeah, it'll be a good guest episode this time.
Yes,
so you
sir.
don't have to listen to us rabble on about random shit. So, all right. Take care, everyone. See y'all.
Till next time.